Hello and welcome to Flaunt. Find your sparkle and create a life you love after infidelity or betrayal. I'm Lora Cheadle, and today we are going to talk about rethinking infidelity. Rethinking infidelity because your love story was different. You are not like the average, couple on Jerry Springer whose partner has an affair and you're all trashy and you could have seen it coming and it's just the way you do things. You're different. And I want to call that out. Your love story was different. Your affair was different. And then most importantly, your recovery is different. And I think it's really important to call this out because, as you probably know, there are different kinds of affairs. There are different kinds of families. There's different kinds of couples. There's different kinds of healing. And not all affair recovery is suitable for every kind of person or every kind of couple. And I'm just going to say it. What I do is definitely a little bit different. And I I really specialize in affair recovery for people who truly never thought this was going to happen to them. So if you're one of those people who are like, no, I never thought this was going to happen to me. I thought I had a really good relationship. We had a great love story. We have been in love. He was the love of my life. I've given my all for him. He's given his all for me. If that's you, then this show is absolutely the show you are going to need to listen to. I've got a ton of notes, so I really want to stay focused. And if you want to reach out to me and talk to me about any of this, please do. I offer a complimentary half-hour session for all of you, for everybody who has been impacted by betrayal. Why? Well, let me tell you, because I went through it and I have never felt so alone and hopeless and scared and shattered in my entire life. And I didn't want to reach out because I felt like my husband and I were different. I felt like we're quality people. We're educated people. We had a really good marriage. We had a really good romance. We had all of these things. We weren't the kind of people that if an affair would happen to. And I was horrified. I didn't want to start sharing what had happened because I didn't want to be judged. And oh my gosh, I mean, I felt so much embarrassment. I felt so much shame. I felt so much confusion. And quite frankly, I kept thinking that a lot of the affair recovery that was out there wouldn't apply to me or my husband because we were a little bit different. We were a little bit different. And the truth of the matter is, we are and we were, and you are, and your partner is. And no, traditional affair recovery doesn't work for everybody. So let me climb off of my little soapbox here and let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show because this is a lot. This is a lot to deal with. Okay, I want to start by talking about society's narrative of betrayal because society's narrative of betrayal is wrong. I'm just going to call that right out. The way that we think of infidelity is wrong because everybody thinks the relationship is special and different because it is special and different. There is no one size fits all when it comes to relationships. And we have this narrative in our society that affairs are passionate and that it's about love and it's about lust and it's about sex and it's about, all of this stuff. When in reality, it's not. Affairs are about pain. The cheater cheats because he's in pain. And the real problem, the real reason you're struggling, the real reason I struggled is we have this narrative that the problem is with the relationship. That people cheat because the relationship is broken, or people cheat because you're a nagging wife, or people cheat for all of these different reasons. And the truth of the matter is, that's not true at all. Like, that is so not true at all. So, really, if we want to address cheating, if we want to start figuring all of this out, we need to call out that there is a myth around cheating. There's a myth around infidelity recovery. And if you really want to recover, which you do, you got to call out that myth. The real problem is how we view cheating. Everybody believes their betrayal is different because it is. When you work with me, when you work with me, but other coaches as well, what you get right off the bat is an enormous sense of relief. Why? Because I'm going to call out this story. I'm going to call out this narrative. I'm going to help you see the bigger picture. I'm going to help you see what is really going on. And I'm going to help you break down that narrative in your own mind about what infidelity means and what it doesn't mean. Okay, the lie that society tells us about infidelity is affairs happen because it was a bad marriage. That's a lie. Affairs happen because the marriage was bad is a lie. The second story that society tells us is that good people don't cheat. Quality people don't cheat. People with good morals and values don't cheat. High caliber people don't cheat. That's a lie. That is a lie. And the third lie that I think is the most damaging lie is that if he really loved you, he wouldn't have cheated on you. You can't cheat on somebody and love them. That's a lie. That is the biggest lie out there. So let's break down these lies. The first lie is affairs happen because marriages were bad. No, 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 no. Cheating is about the person who cheats. Cheating is not about the relationship. I cannot stress that enough. Cheating is about the person who cheats because they're unhealthy, unhappy, emotionally inept, incapable of identifying their feelings or expressing their feelings. They feel trapped for some reason, justified or not, and they cheat because they see it as a solution to their pain. They see the cheating as somehow making them feel better and getting them out of their desperation. It is their desperation. It is not the desperation of the marriage. Maybe there's some problems in the marriage. There were absolutely some unaddressed problems in our marriage that, looking back on, I see that I stuck my head in the sand on. We were busy. He was working full time. I was taking care of the kids. I was working part time. We were really busy. There wasn't time or energy or, I thought, resources to take care of some of these problems. So you just patch them up and move on. You just water under the bridge, move on, move on, move on, move on, move on. So yes, there can be problems in the relationship, but the relationship doesn't cause cheating. Relationship problems don't cause cheating. Relationship problems do not cause cheating. Cheaters cheat because it's about them, and maybe they don't know how to handle the relationship problems. They don't know how to address the things that are making them mad or sad or triggered or whatever it is. I could talk all day about that, but the cheating says nothing about you and it says nothing about your relationship. You can honestly have had the best relationship, the most caring, fun relationship where you're cuddling and you're enjoying each other's company and you have a great sex life and you have a good, happy family and you have a lot of fun together. And somebody can still cheat because it's about them. It's not about you and it's not about the relationship. Big lie number 2 is that good people don't cheat. Let me tell you this. All people cheat. Happy people cheat too. Happy people cheat too. People cheat because they have personal wounds. People cheat because they're having some sort of identity crisis, whether it's a midlife crisis or they're struggling with the loss of somebody or something, the loss of a job, the loss of a parent, God forbid, the loss of a child. People cheat because they are having a personal issue. Oftentimes they have unmet needs that they don't even understand themselves. They just know that for some reason, they're not feeling great. They can be happy on the outside. They can be successful on the outside. They're not cheating because they're raging narcissists. They're not cheating because they're bad people with no morals. They're cheating because they've got a personal problem inside and they don't know how to handle it. Their biggest lie is that if they loved you, they wouldn't cheat. If they loved you, they would have never have cheated. I call BS on that. First of all, nobody's experience is the exact same. Do people sometimes cheat as a way to get out of a relationship? You bet your booty they do. Sometimes have people fallen out of love and they end up cheating? Absolutely. As weird as it sounds, your partner can be totally in love with you and cheat. They just can, because is cheating about you? No. Is cheating about the relationship? No. Is cheating about love? No. No, it is not. Society assumes that cheating is all about passion and love and lust. And you know what? It's just not. Think about all of the things that you have been able to do in your life that actually don't make sense. Here's a big one. Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to lose a little bit of weight? Absolutely, yes. Are you committed to that? Absolutely, yes. Did you have a piece of chocolate cake? Yep, sure did. Did you have a glass of wine? Yep, sure did. Did you skip your workout? Yep, sure did. Do you still want to be healthy? Yep. Do you still want to lose a few pounds? Yep. The things that we do are not always in alignment with who we are or the beliefs that we have. Are you a truthful person? Yep. Is truth important to you? Yep. Have you ever told a little white lie? Yep. Have you ever told a little story that's not quite true to kind of make an excuse for something? Yep. Have you ever gotten home from the grocery store and realized something was not on your receipt and you ended up walking away with a pack of sparkling water for free or your pack of broccoli for free? Yep. Do you go back to the store and correct the mistake? Most people don't. Is that dishonest? Sure is. Sure is. Have you ever left work 15 minutes early? There's all of these different things that we do that are out of alignment with who we are and what we say is important to us. Does that make us necessarily dishonest? No, it makes us human. And that's why people can cheat and still be a good person. They're just a person who's in pain, and they can love you dearly. And you can be the most important relationship that they've ever had and that they want, and they can still cheat. And that's really hard to understand. And all I'm asking of you now in this show is to sit with that. Just sit with that. You might not believe me yet. You might believe it in your head, but not feel it in your heart and in your body. You might say that's true for other people, but that's not true for me and for us. Wherever you're at, you're in the right place, but I'm just asking you to sit with that. You have been told many lies about affairs. You have been told many lies about affairs. You have been served up a narrative about what an affair means, and it's not true. You are different. Your relationship is different. The reason your partner cheated is different. Your betrayal recovery story is different. Now, does absolutely every relationship survive? No, but do you know what I get really tired of hearing? I get so tired of hearing things like once a cheater, always a cheater. I get so tired of the narrative that it has to be over. Can it be over? Yes. If you want it to be over, should it be over? Yes. If you are done tolerating this, yes. If there's other things in your marriage, in your relationship that you have not been satisfied with, and this is just the straw that breaks the camel's back and you want to leave, leave. I am not pro-marriage at all costs. But what I am is I am a realist. And if you have a special, passionate, loving relationship and you really feel like you can move through this, then by all means move through it and get the support you need. And do not listen to anybody who tells you you can't. Do not listen to any expert, so-called expert voice out there who's like, oh, it's not going to work, or once a cheater, always a cheater, or people don't really change. Don't you dare listen to that. Your relationship is unique. Your relationship is unique. It is different. I knew my story and my husband's story was not your typical story. I knew we did not belong on reality TV talking about all of this trashy stuff. I knew it was different. I didn't understand it because I didn't have a narrative out there for what it meant. There was nobody saying things like this to me. I had to figure this out. And as I started figuring it out, it became so clear and so obvious that, okay, little backstory. Our wedding song was Sade's No Ordinary Love. I thought we had no ordinary love. I believed our relationship was that passionate and that special. Soulmates, twin flames, you name it. I thought we were all that. And then this happened, and I'm like, whoa, what happened to No Ordinary Love? Nothing happened to No Ordinary Love. What happened to No Ordinary Love was life got in the way. And I'm not going to let this one experience kill what could have otherwise been and still was an amazing love story. A passionate, unique connection between two people who loved each other a lot. Now, I don't know the circumstances of your relationship, but what I want you to know is you are the expert in your relationship. You are the expert in your relationship. And I want you to have hope that it can still be amazing. Not only amazing, it can be the most uniquely powerful, beautiful love story ever, if that's what you want. And if that's what's going on. And if you want to leave, like I've said, by all means leave, because this is your life, but just don't let anybody else's narrative of what you should or shouldn't do start replaying in your head. Don't let anybody tells you what it means to have that your partner has an affair. What does it mean that your partner cheated? It means that your partner cheated. It doesn't mean anything about you or the relationship. It means that they cheated. What are you going to make it mean? What are you going to make it mean? I'm so passionate about this topic. But it just gets so frustrating to me that so many people feel hopeless when confronted with an affair. And you don't have to, because it is not hopeless. It's hard. It's soul crushing. And it can also be the biggest gift that you have ever received. I would not wish this on anybody. But I would also not trade the woman I am today for anything. I would not trade our relationship for anything. Is it easy in every single moment? No. Are we still working through a lot of things? Yes. But we are so raw with each other. We are so vulnerable with each other. We are so committed and connected to this growth at all costs. This was not something that we did before. This is not something that we talked about before. There was so much before that was kind of superficial that I didn't realize. We were doing life. We were busy doing life, and we had good moments, and we had some deep conversations. But this is different, and this is beautiful, and this is what it's all about. So, let's talk about some of the phrases that you might be thinking. I never thought this would happen to us. He was so good. He's so loving. We have sex all the time. He doesn't look at other women. He's not that kind of a person. We had some friends and that they cheated and he was horrified. We had a real connection. Unlike other couples, people envied us. People envied our lifestyle. We had something real. If you've ever thought something like that, you're in the right place. You're in the right company. Because, yes, those are all things I thought too. And just because an affair happens doesn't mean those aren't true. Have you ever thought cheating shouldn't have happened to you? Yeah. Your relationship is unique. We're not going to get divorced. Other people are going to get divorced. Other people won't figure out how to work through things, but we can. This is that whole danger of comparison because we start comparing our relationship to everybody else's, whether it's relationships that we see because they're in our environment, friends, family, whatever. This is not like my parents' relationship. This is not like your parents' relationship. This is not like the neighbors. Oh my God, do you believe that they did blah, 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 blah. All those ways we compare ourselves and we judge others and we pat ourselves on the back because we're doing a better job. We did some couples therapy. We did some classes. We're reading books together. We talk. We have fun in bed. You name it, whatever it is that you think you're doing. Still be proud of that. But when you shift your thinking to realize affairs happen across the board. Affairs happen to people who are in counseling. Affairs happen to people who are not in counseling. Affairs happen to people who go on great vacations. Affairs happen to people who work all the time. Affairs happen to people who don't work all the time. Affairs happen to people who have an amazing connection and an incredible sex life. Affairs happen to people who are both hot and sexy. They happen to people who are frumpy and not hot and sexy. All of those things that we think keep us safe and prove that affairs won't happen are just stories. It's part of that false narrative. If you stay in shape and if you learn good communication skills and if you keep them happy in the bedroom and if you're a really good husband or wife or partner or mom or dad or whatever, it won't happen. It's all BS. It's all a story because affairs happen to everyone. Everyone. Actually, statistically speaking, if you look at it, it's kind of the inverse of what I thought. I thought uneducated, people who were in poverty, people who were high stress, people who did not have family values, I thought those were the kind of people who would have affairs. When you actually look at it, higher educated men cheat a lot. Highly educated men cheat a lot. Highly successful men cheat a lot. Wow, right? It happens to everybody. The common denominator is a cheater cheats because they are in pain internally with something going on for them. So, what I'm asking you to do right now is to shed those layers, to shed those layers of belief, to shed those narratives that you've got. And I'm asking you here and now to move into a state of relief. Like, let it go. Because one of the greatest indicators of affair recovery and successful betrayal recovery is the ability to feel relief. Once you feel relief and you can let some of that stress go, then your recovery starts taking shape quickly. Now, when I work with people, I work two different ways. I do work one-on-one in one-off situations, but my favorite way to work and the most powerful way to work is in a 6-month package. Why? Because within 6 months, you can start connecting to that relief. You can start breaking down the false narratives that you had around infidelity and betrayal, you can start honestly realizing in body, in mind, in soul, in spirit that, hey, this says nothing about me or our relationship, and I get to choose what I want going forward. And in 6 months, I give you the roadmap. You don't have to figure it out yourself. I give you the roadmap of how to figure out what you want, how you want your relationship to be, how you want yourself to be. Do you want to be single? Do you want to be together? How do you want this? And then in 6 months, we systematically take steps one at a time to get you where you want to be. So by the end of the 6 months, you're confident, you're clear, you know you have made the right decision, and you don't have any regrets. Regret is huge. And when we are given this bam explosion that just comes out of the blue, and it's like, yeah, and here, decide the rest of your future, decide your financial future, decide your family's fate, decide what's going on with everything. Where are you going to spend Christmas in 3 years? What is this going to look like when you have grandkids? How is this? Whoa, that's a lot. And you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to stay in something that is not going to work. You don't want to stay in something where you're going to get burned. And you don't want to leave something that could end up being the best gift you've ever been given. You don't want to let this extraordinary relationship that you have had, this extraordinary life that you have built up, go unless you are sure. So that's why I like working with you in 6 months, so you can figure that out. And we can test the waters, and we can see, is your partner willing to come to the party? Are you willing to come to the party? Are you willing to get raw, get naked, get vulnerable, and do the stuff that you need to do to work on your own wounds and your partner's wounds? They work on theirs, you work on yours. Are you willing to keep the extraordinary, unique, beautiful stuff that you have built up in this relationship? If so, we can do it. And if you're like, no, heck no, it was dead a long time ago, then hey, let's make this about you and let's build up your most extraordinary life. And in those 6 months, I can show you how. Not only can I show you how, because I'm giving you steps along the way, but I'm your accountability partner, literally whispering in your ear every day. You're talking to me 24/7 if necessary. And we're figuring it out step by step by step by step by step to break down that narrative and get you where you want to be, filled with relief. So many people, when they sign up, they're like, the relief was incredible just by signing up. And it's like, yes, because you know you're going to be supported. You know you're going to be held. You know you deserve this relief. And it's only from a state of relief that you can grow and heal and change. Because if you're not in relief, you're in fight, flight, or freeze. You are out of the prefrontal cortex, the rational, reasonable thinking portion of your brain, and you're back here in your reptilian brain, and you're reacting. You're reacting to threats. You're perceiving everything as a threat. You're hypervigilant. Reclaim your brain. Calm your nervous system. Feel that relief. Let that relief wash over you. So instead of reacting to everything, you can start taking proactive steps forward to get exactly what it is that you desire. So that's why relief is the most important and one of the most often overlooked steps in healing. Unless you are actively feeling relief, you're in a state of anxiety, you're in a state of stress, you are not in the prefrontal cortex. You are not making the most rational, reasonable decisions. Now, one of the things that a lot of people say to me is, I'm in therapy, or my husband and I are going to choose couples counseling. We're going to do couples counseling before I work with you. And I think we should all do therapy often. I truly think every human on this planet should be in and out of therapy their whole lives, because it's a great tool that helps you unpack and understand triggers, beliefs, things like that. And therapy does not give you the relief that you desire. Oftentimes, especially in couples therapy, it can bring up a lot of stuff and it can trigger you. Oh my gosh, I feel so happy after our last therapy session. Said no couple ever. How do you feel going into therapy? Everybody's a bit on guard. You're talking about things, you're figuring it out, you're managing your emotions, you're trying to stay present. Therapy is stressful. You go home after therapy. Usually you're not like giggling and happy and swinging your arm around your partner's neck. Usually you're a little both guarded because you've uncovered some big stuff. And I want to be clear, I'm not saying don't uncover that big stuff. But what I am saying is, where's your moment of relief? Where's your weekly or your monthly? God, I feel so relieved right now. Where is that? Because if you're going to stay together as a couple, you need relief as a couple. And if you're going to stay together or if you're going to separate, you need relief for you. You have been through so much, you need relief. Think about all the things we need relief for. I have such tense muscles. I got a massage or I went to the chiropractor. I have relief. Now I can function again. Think about it when you have a headache and you can't focus and you take aspirin and you have that relief and suddenly you can focus again. You have a cold and you cannot breathe because your sinuses are packed and you take some great NyQuil and you get relief and suddenly you can breathe. We need relief. We cannot push through the pain. We cannot keep pushing through and doing all of this deep, dark, heavy stuff and expect a positive outcome. We need moments of relief. Coaching typically gives you that relief because it's like, here's the perspective, here's the truth, here we go. You cannot logic your way out of betrayal pain. You cannot logic your way out of an affair. Your body needs to feel safe first. Your energy field needs to feel safe first. You need to be able to exhale and not always be sitting there waiting for that other shoe to drop. You need to be validated about all the ways you are doing things right. You need to have a loving voice, whether it's a friend or a family member or a clergy member or each other, talking and validating and saying, this is meaningful to me. This is important to me. This is what I want, need, desire from you most. When you feel relief, when you get that moment of, I made the right decision, I talked to the right person, I committed to the right forms of healing, I'm doing the right thing in my relationship, whether it's moving out temporarily, whether it's filing for divorce, whether it's staying together. When you have that moment of relief, what happens is it creates an energetic imprint of healing. The moment you exhale, the moment you realize, I don't have to fix this all at once. I am safe. I have the right team in place. I'm asking the right questions. My partner and I are doing the right things. That's when your energy field shifts. When your energy field shifts, you start bringing in and attracting more healing, more peace, more connection. You stay out of that survival portion of your brain. Your mind opens. Your body softens, your shoulders drop, your gut releases. You can finally start sleeping again. You can start eating again. You can start laughing again. Your brain drops out of that hypervigilance. You don't have obsessive thoughts again. You're not checking his phone again. You're able to go out and have a good time with each other or with your family or with friends and not always be like, oh my God, where is he at? What's he doing? What did he mean by that? Am I being stupid? Am I being rash? Is this happening? When you relax is when healing begins. When you relax is when healing begins. Just like with pain relief, when you take Advil or aspirin or Tylenol or something like that to get the inflammation, to get the pain out of your body stops sending all those stress signals. This is painful. This is painful. This is painful. And it can relax and then it can actually physiologically heal. And that is the exact same thing with healing from betrayal. You need to soften and breathe and relax. It's the shift from panic to possibility that changes everything. It's the shift from, oh my God, how can this be? How could he love me and still do this? How could I have not seen this? How could we be so good in every other way? How could I have not noticed it? It's that shift from panic around all of those things into, wow, maybe there's a different narrative out there. Maybe I have been a little bit brainwashed by society as to what it means when your partner has an affair. And maybe it's time I created my own narrative around this. Now, before we go into a relief reset, because I am going to do a little relief reset with you, I want to take a moment and I want you, without thinking too hard, to think about the narrative you've had in your mind about an affair. What does an affair mean? And when the show is done, I'd like you to journal on that. You know, early on, I loved the book and the movie Bridges of Madison County. And for those of you who haven't read that or seen it, it's an affair story. But it's this beautiful affair love story about this, I think his name was Robert Kincaid, a photographer who comes into this small Midwestern town to photograph the bridges of Madison County. And he meets Francesca, I think that was her name. And they just know instantly that they're soulmates. They're passionately in love. And I can't remember why her husband is out of town, but he's gone and they spend like a week together. I mean, it's not a ton of time, maybe 3 days, maybe a week. And it's just this passionate love, beautiful connection. And then at the end of the movie, the choice is, does she go with him or does she go back into her black and white, dreary life, into a marriage where she doesn't really love her partner? And it's how she chose to stay. And it was like she was being noble and she chose to stay and he left. And I saw that early on when it first came out. And I was just like all Twitter pated with the whole thing. Oh, this is so romantic and love lost and unrequited love and blah, 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 blah. But you know, there's so much unsaid in that story. They didn't know each other. Oh my gosh, they didn't know each other. Were they soulmates? I doubt it. I really doubt it. Would it have worked? Nope. And they do address that in the book a little bit too. Like his life is this travel around photographer and her life is this farm wife. They would have driven each other crazy. They would have hated each other. It's this affair fog that it would have been amazing. It's this affair fog that it would have been beautiful. But even pick that apart. What was wrong with her that she fell prey to this? She was in a marriage. She was unhappy in her marriage, but what was she doing to address that? A big fat nothing. What was she doing to communicate her unhappiness in the relationship? A big fat nothing. So, looking at that narrative now, the realistic narrative is so different than this narrative that I had that it was all about love. Another narrative that I had in my head about affairs. I mean, that it's love, that it's passion, that, oh my God, they couldn't keep their eyes and their hands off of each other because it was so intense. Let me tell you, most affair sex is not intense and it is not passionate. It's awkward and it's not super fun at all. It's very awkward. Um, Literally, I have not talked to one betraying partner who said it was the best sex of their life. Never. Never. Not once, not ever. Could it be? Of course it could be. Have I ever met somebody personally who says it was? Nope. So if you have talked to your partner about that, I'm guessing it's pretty much the same story. Anyway, back to what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to journal about, think about what is your narrative of what it means. The other narrative I had in my head was that it happened to really trashy people. It happened to really low class, low quality people, and that I'm a high quality person and my partner's a high quality person and we have a high quality marriage and that we know better and we're good and we're smart. And just like I was saying earlier, he wouldn't do that because he's a good person. He wouldn't do that because he's in love with me. Write down all of your assumptions about affairs. Next, I want you to write down all of your assumptions and beliefs about what it means when somebody cheats. Is your assumption that the marriage is over? Here's something that is huge. Most people think betrayal is an unforgivable sin, an unforgivable act. Most people think it is the be all end all, the hard stop. If that ever happens in my relationship, I am out of here. If that ever happens in your relationship, you get out of there. You know you're done, right? You get out of there. That's not, nope, not going to tolerate that. We are conditioned to think that. We hear that all the time, that that is the unforgivable sin. Can it be? Sure. If that truly is your boundary, let it be your boundary, but let it be your boundary because it's yours, not because somebody told you it needed to be. If that's your boundary, claim it and own it that I will not tolerate that in any relationship for any reason, and I am done because of that. Make it your story. But notice if there's that little voice in your head that's saying, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to take him for all he's worth. I'm supposed to hate him forever. Oh my God, this is not what I want, but I have to do it because this is what I'm supposed to do. Notice whose story you're adopting. Notice whose beliefs you're holding. When you think about what it means when your partner cheats, I want you to look at some of the childhood stories. Who are the people in your life that cheated? Did your parents go through an affair? Did a friend or a sister or a coworker? What are the stories around that in your life? Did people stay? Did people go? Were they happy with their choice? Did they do the work or did it just keep repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating? Did we just sweep it under the carpet and keep moving on? Get clear about what happened to those people around you and start writing your narrative of what it means when somebody cheats. Now, third thing I want you to journal about is your relationship. I want you to write down all the reasons why this is such an anomaly, why you have an extraordinary relationship, why you have an unusual relationship, why you two are different than everybody else. Don't tell me you have never sat down with your partner and compared yourself to other couples and been like, oh my God, we are so much better than them. Do you believe what they're doing? Did you know what he did to her? Did you hear what she said to him? Oh my God, we would never do that to each other. Write down all the ways you are extraordinary together. Write down all of the unique things in your romance, in your love story. And here's my question. If there's so many different things, why do you think you would need the same kind of healing as somebody else? Why would you think somebody else's affair recovery would be a good fit for you? Why would you think going to some big affair recovery place that has a one-size-fits-all approach would work for you? It won't, because your relationship is different, because you're different, because your beliefs are different, because you are cultivating your own narrative. So do not let anybody pressure you into thinking you need to stay or you need to go. You get to decide what this means for you. Now, the last step after you've written down all these things, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but what I want to do is give you I want to give you so much of the benefit that I can here and now, because unless we're working together, you're not having the opportunity to have these questions asked of you. Unless we're doing Voxer and we're doing our one-on-one sessions and you're getting my emails, you're not having an opportunity to go deep. So while I've got you here now, I want to go as deep as I can, as quickly as I can, so you can start making decisions that are really good, so you don't have regrets. So you don't live in uncertainty and you don't feel like there's no hope, because there's a whole heck of a lot of hope and there is a whole heck of a lot of relief. The very last step is I want you to write about what this means for you, about what this means for your future, both as an individual and as a couple. Look at me, I'm really happy. Look at me, I'm really strong. Look at me and my husband. We're really connected and committed in ways that we weren't. Is this what you want? Claim that if that's what you want. Do you want to be powerfully on your own? Claim it. Do you want to just go back to normal and quietly brush things under the rug and never really deal with your problems? If you want to claim that, you can claim that. I just don't recommend it, because now is an opportunity to claim something a lot higher and a lot more fun. Claim what you want, and I want you to write it down. There is so much power in intention, and I want you to write this down. Now, once you've written all of those different things down, I want you to move into this relief reset. Because like I said earlier, feeling relief is a really important component to facilitate healing, and it is so often overlooked. If you can, close your eyes. If not, keep walking, keep driving. And I want you to take a few deep breaths and just relax. And I want you to let your mind wander into what it means to be in a state of relief. What does relief feel like to you? Does it feel like stress rolling off your back? Does it feel like your muscles softening? Does it feel like a deep exhalation? What does relief feel like to you? I want you to remember those feelings. I want you to remember those body sensations of what relief feels like. Because you know what relief feels like in your body. You've had it before. That aspirin is kicking in. Oh, I got the job. Yes, we closed on the house. Whatever that sense of relief is, I want you to feel it in your body, and I want you to remember it. Because if you're going to anchor it in and remember it, you can recreate it. You can consciously recreate it. And it's really important to be able to consciously recreate it throughout this journey. What does it feel like? I want you to let those sensations expand through your body. And then I want you to anchor it into your mind with some affirmations. I don't have to figure it out right now. I don't have to figure it out right now. I don't have to have all the answers. I get to relax. I get to wait and see. Whatever feels good, what are you stressing about? I don't have to do it all. I don't have to manage my partner's recovery. I don't have to find sex addiction therapists. I don't have to find couples counseling. I don't have to suffer through weekly counseling sessions when I didn't do anything wrong. Whatever it is, claim it for yourself. I don't have to destroy my family just because this happened. I might choose to later, but I don't have to do it now. I don't have to leave a life I love. I don't have to uproot my kids. I don't have to put up with this behavior. I don't have to stay in a marriage that doesn't bring me joy. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Affirm for yourself whatever feels clear and powerful and relief inducing. You've been through a lot. You're going to be going through more. Healing is a process. Figuring it out is a process. But what are these moments of relief right now that you can affirm for yourself in your mind? Right now, you don't have to figure it out. Right now, you're listening to a podcast. You might be taking a walk. You might be driving. You might be cleaning up. I don't know what you're doing. But right now, you don't have to figure it all out. Right now, you're gathering information. Right now, you're calming your nervous system down. Those are the only two things, really, that you have to do. You have to figure out ways to calm your nervous system. It's a good thing to know in life anyway, because bad things happen, stressful things happen. Having a wide variety of tools that can help you calm your nervous system benefit you hugely in life all the time. Gathering information, that's a great thing to do. You don't have to gather it all right now today. You can binge my podcast, sure, but you can also listen to them slowly over time. You can read my book. You can reach out. You can have a complimentary session with me. You can reach out and talk to 10 different therapists. You can download everybody's guide. You can take all the quizzes online that you want to. You're gathering information. You don't have to make a decision right now. You don't have to figure it out right now. You're gathering information and you're calming your nervous system, and that is it. Even earlier, I gave you all those questions about what does it mean? You can do that as it comes. You don't have to do that right now. I said do it after the show. If it doesn't work after the show, do it later. You don't have to figure it out right now. This is the relief reset. Remembering what relief feels like in your body and affirming the truth in your mind. Where is it in your body? Feel relief. Soften your gut. Drop your shoulders. Roll your head. Smile. Breathe. What stressors are coming up in your mind? How can you affirm, I don't need to figure it out now. I don't need to go check his phone now. It doesn't matter to me right now in this moment if he's telling a lie or telling the truth. Right now, I don't have to figure that out. I don't have to worry about regret right now. Feel that relief reset your system. Now, staying in this place of relaxed reset, in the state of relief, now I want you to think about everything we talked about earlier. Rewriting your betrayal story, shifting it from this should have never happened. Oh my gosh, this should have never happened. This is all wrong. I wish I could make it go away. This is wrong. Feel the relief in your mind, feel your relief in your body. And now shift to, you know what? This happened. Infidelity happened. And now I get to decide what it means for me. It happened. And now I get to decide what it means. I get to assign meaning. And I just want you to feel how energetically that feels so much better. And there's hope and there's relief. This should have never happened. This was all wrong. He's an awful person. Why didn't he love me? Why wasn't I good enough? To, you know what? It happened. And now I get to decide what it means. Is it fair? Nope. Is it right? Nope. Is it kind? Nope. You know what? Now I get to decide. I don't have to figure it out. I just have to decide. Next thing I want you to do is take your hands and I just want you to shake them. Shake, 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 shake. I don't care if you're doing like a twist or a back and forth. Get those hands up and I want you to shake. Pretend you're fanning your face like you're having an intense hot flash and it's already 100 degrees outside. Woo-wee, you're hot. Shake your hands. Now I want you to take your shoulders and I want you to shake your shoulders. It can be small or it can be big. Shake like a dog. Shake your head. Shake your hands. I just want you to shake it out. Shake, 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 shake it off. Shake, 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 shake. And I want you to shake to the point where you're like, I gotta stop. I really want to stop. Boy, this is feeling awkward and I'm feeling tired. Push into that. Give yourself 3 breaths of, I don't want to be shaking anymore. I'm getting really tired. And then let it go. Move your hand to your heart. And I want you to breathe to reconnect with a sense of safety, to reconnect with your sense of self. And guess what I want you to feel wash over you? Yep, you got it. Relief. Feel that relief from shaking it out and reconnecting for you. We've done that physically. We've done this energetically. We've done it emotionally. You also know I'm really big into ritual. One of the things that I have a lot of my couples do is a reclamation ritual. It's a bridge crossing ceremony. And when I'm working with people in person, because I do some VIP days, like full days with couples, reach out. That's not on my website. That's something I just do truly for my for my power couples, for my people who do have that extraordinary type of relationship, and they're both really committed and connected to moving on. But one of the things that I have them do is a bridge crossing ceremony where we go to a physical bridge and we cross that bridge knowing that we're not going to come back across it. And we leave behind the identity of cheater. We leave behind the identity of betrayer and betrayed. We leave behind the identity of pain and brokenness, or being abandoned or wounded or unworthy. We leave all of that behind. And they take their time and they take each other's hand, and together they cross that bridge, leaving it all behind. Now, whether you're doing a couple session with me, or whether you're doing this together on your own, or whether you do this by yourself, I really encourage you to create some sort of bridge crossing ceremony, some kind of reclamation ritual where you are leaving this behind. Because the past belongs in the past. It's over and you can't change it. You can collect lessons and knowledge and wisdom. You can use it as a resource, but the past is in the past. And I'm not saying spiritually bypass this and move on and just ignore it. It's all in the past. That is not what I'm saying at all. Glean everything you can from this, learn everything that you can from this, and then let it go. Then let it go. There is no point in dragging it into the present with you. There is no point in keeping it uncomfortably with you every moment of the day. And there is absolutely no point in throwing it up into your future either. You get to decide your future. If you want to have a resentment-filled, angry, bitter future, by all means, go ahead, but I don't. Keep the past in the past. Use the ritual to put it behind you and to move forward and to step into everything that you want to create, because whose life is this? It's yours. What do you get to do with this? Whatever you want. You've shifted your emotional state. You've shifted your energetic state by moving in to a state of relief. You've shifted intellectually by creating and deciding, you know what, this is what I want to do with this story. This is what it means for me. This is what it means for him. This is what it means for us. And you have truly reclaimed the best parts of your relationship, of yourself going forward. So in wrapping some of this up, I want to validate a few things. First, your relationship is different. It's different than anybody's. It might be very similar to mine. You two might have the same kind of feelings about each other that we had about each other. You truly might be like, yeah, have a very extraordinary love. We're twin flames, we're soulmates, this is a unique relationship. You might have that, but it's still different than mine. It's different than yours. It's different than any one size fits all approach. It is different. It is absolutely different. And your healing journey is going to be different. And I have said this on my website, and I say this all the time. Oh, but I'm so passionate about it. The tragedy of betrayal is not the betrayal itself. The tragedy of betrayal is not growing and changing after betrayal. The tragedy of betrayal is letting it go and walking away and not capitalizing on this big, juicy, powerful, catalytic experience. The devastation of betrayal is in not claiming your future. So, what I ask you is to not let this opportunity pass you by. Whether or not your partner comes to the party or not, don't you dare pass this opportunity up. Make the most of it, grow, change, transform, become everything that you've ever wanted to become. Own all kinds of powers, step into your worth, reclaim your identity, whatever that looks like for you. Now is your chance to do that. Do you want to feel safe? Yes. Do you want the relationship you've always wanted? Yes. Do that now. My husband and I often say, this is the marriage that I always wanted. I never knew how to get it before. And like my husband will say, I had to blow it up in order to get what I wanted. But we've got it now. Your marriage has been blown up. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Get clear. No regrets. Live fully. Put it all on the table. Claim what you want. Feel that relief. Feel that safety. Feel that clarity. Know with 100% certainty that you are making the right decisions and that you are doing the right thing for the right reasons. Have hope. Feel that relief. You are special. You are different. You can make it work. And honest to God, I can promise you that. I can promise that you will be happier at the end of the day on the other side. I can't promise if you're going to be married or single or whatever. I can't promise what your partner is or is not going to do. But I can promise that you can be happier. You can be stronger. You will be more clear. You can have a lot of certainty and a lot of confidence that no matter what happens, you know exactly how to deal with it. Now, I feel like I've just been like up on my soapbox going at it. But I want you to rethink infidelity. Your love story was different. So is your healing. What I'm talking about is betrayal recovery for people who thought this was never going to happen to them. That's what I'm talking about. Let's do that. Now, I got two things I'm going to talk to you about. Maybe more if I decide, but two things first and foremost. For first and foremost. Number one, if you've been listening to my show for the past couple of weeks, you know my newest book is about to drop on Amazon, and I am so excited. The book is called It's Not Burnout, It's Betrayal: 5 Tools to Fuel Up and Thrive. And it's how to reframe burnout as a sense of betrayal. And yes, it was born from my experience here. Let me tell you a little bit what happened. I think you know this. I was a corporate attorney and I really burned out as a corporate attorney. And I walked away and I started doing different things. I started coaching, I started a wellness practice, and I really, really loved that. But at some point, I also started burning out with that too. And just like with life, you burn out. I had some adrenal fatigue. There was a lot going on. Life is exhausting. It wasn't until I went through my infidelity story that I realized, oh my gosh, it's not burnout. It's a sense of betrayal. I felt betrayed at work. I had all of these expectations that I should be able to do it all. I should be promoted. I should be seen. I should be able to balance motherhood and career and all of those things. And when it didn't work, when I couldn't, I felt this internal sense of betrayal, like life was betraying me. The company was betraying me. Like I was being let down. And that's when I started writing this book and teaching people about betrayal. When we think about betrayal, we think about it in terms of infidelity and betrayal, but betrayal is everywhere. Betrayal permeates our society on so many different levels. And the root of it oftentimes is self-betrayal because we don't stand up and advocate for what we want. We compromise our values, our beliefs. We give in order to keep the peace. And when we live a life where we're constantly diminishing ourselves, where we're constantly abandoning ourselves, that's when energetically we start attracting more betrayal because we're not honoring ourselves, we're not valuing ourselves, and we get diminished little by little, day after day, year after year. And then one day we wake up and we're like, I didn't even live my life for me. I am so not happy. So this is a shorter book compared to my book, Flaunt, Drop Your Cover and Reveal Your Smart, Sexy and Spiritual Self. That is a real deep dive into identity, self-esteem, self-worth, self-empowerment. But it's not burnout, it's betrayal. It's a faster read, it's a quicker framework, and it's bam, 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 5 tools that you can use to really help identify the difference between burnout and betrayal, and tools that you can use to help return you to that sense of agency. And yes, I wrote it kind of for the workplace, but for the family, for yourself as well. It's for anybody. If you lead a team, if you lead a team of kids, if you lead a team of adults, if you lead your family, these are the kind of tools and tips and tricks that you are going to need to know. And it's on Amazon. It's coming out, well, the paperback comes out January 11th. The ebook comes out January 21st. And yes, there's going to be some promotions. And yes, there's even going to be a free download day. So if you go to burnoutorbetrayal.com and get your little freebie there, which is Burnout Uncovered, you will be on the list to receive a free ebook on my free download day. So go ahead and go to burnoutorbetrayal.com, get on the list so you can get your free copy of the book. And in the meantime, I really want you to think about this show. I want you to think about the specialness of yourself, your relationship, what that means for you in healing. Reach out to me if you want an appointment, if you want to schedule time just for yourself, if you want to schedule an appointment for you and your partner. But let's move into that state of relief and let's get you healed, shall we? Because yes, your recovery is different, just like your romance and your love story was different. So have an amazing week. And as usual, always remember to flaunt exactly who you are, because who you are is always more than enough. And speaking of always remember, I'd also like you to remember to rate, review, subscribe, or like this podcast so other people who are going through this as well can find this information, because it truly can change lives. See you next week. Bye-bye.